This car is in so many pieces. The motor's wide open, the pistons, there's the top of it, oh, the intake. Oh man, it's everywhere. I've really got in over my head, boys. I don't know who the hell thought this was a good idea for me to do. I mean, I have no idea what I'm doing. This is horrible. Alright boys, I got a car in here today that everyone seems to be interested in. They're not really my favorite, but I mean, they have like a cult following. Check out my tile though real quick, hang on. I ceramic tiled the bathroom floor. Got the little drain action. It's all sloped to the middle. It's pretty nice. Anyways, back to this car. It is, you know, the S14 Sylvia 240SX, whatever, Japanese drift car. Everybody loves them. They have such a cult following. The guy that owns it, it's just a stock motor. He likes to put all the little hard to get parts on it and everything, and keep this car clean. He wants to take it to car shows. He's the guy that owns it, actually runs like the only car show we have in our town. They're pretty big in the car community, and this car has a stock like K24 motor in it. And the guy got the car all running. He painted the car himself, put wheels and suspension, did everything he really wanted to do to the car. And I think he changed all the sensors and everything he needed on the engine to get all the CEL codes to go away and to get the motor to seemingly run as good as it was going to run. And it was pushing white smoke, it was pushing coolant. It just had a bad head gasket. And he sent it to a guy like 2 years ago that was supposed to just take the head off, get the head machined, replace the head gasket, put studs in it, new timing kit, basically like a top-end rebuild on the motor. And that was 2 years ago. They went and got it out of a field recently. Basically the head got taken off and taken to the machine shop, and that seems to be all that happened with the car, other than it getting picked up with the forklift and ran into and stuff, and they messed the front end of the car all up. Really horrible situation, but I haven't messed with the car at all yet. It seems like, I mean, when he dropped the car off, it seemed like he had everything that the car needed to go back together, but it didn't get put back together. Let's see. Oh, I'll pop the hood here. That's annoying. Is that all I get out of that? I'm gonna have to take that hood completely off, get it out of my way. Yeah, the motor was very rusted up. The owner has put oil and everything on it as much as he could to try to stop the rust. I'm gonna try to clean it up and see if I think I can just do the top end rebuild like he was gonna do. He's also, the car's automatic, and he's got the whole 5-speed swap ready to go in the car. I really just want to drag everything out of it and then clean the bay out and tear the block all the way down, clean it up, paint it, stack it back up like it should be, and go ahead and do his 5-speed swap and give him the car back like it's supposed to be. But and he's kind of giving me the go ahead to do that, so it's probably what's going to happen with it at this point. Alright, I finally got all this stuff pulled out of the car. I got the hood out of my way, got everything looked over kind of. Yeah, he's got everything for the head. The head, he said, has already been through. I don't know if they did the valve stem seals, but I'm not going to mess with them. There's a new head gasket, timing kit, stock cams I got to clean up. It's got a nice intake and exhaust gas. It looks like one of those fancy thermal intake gaskets. Parts. The worst of all this is for sure this. This is what's called a bucket and shim style head. The valve lash is adjusted with shims. These buckets have literally, these pieces come out of the insides of here. That's a little shim. Each one of those is a different size. They all go in a specific spot. That is how you set your valve lash. Your gap between your cams and your valve is set with those shims. Because they're all just thrown in a box, I'm gonna have to just put them all in, check them all, make a note of everyone that's right, and just keep swapping the wrong ones and re-putting the cams in and retorquing the cam caps back on. I had to do this with a Miata recently. It was horrible. It's probably gonna take me a whole day just to get the valve lash back right, and that's just hoping that it all goes back right. I don't know if they did a valve job on it. All of the clearances are gonna be too tight, and you can't just get shims. They're $11 a piece, and you have to know what ones you want. It's a whole nightmare. That's going to be the worst of this, is doing the valve adjustment, which, I mean, I'll get it done. I've done it before. It's going to be tedious. All you have to do is number them. When you pull out the bucket and shims, you just number them where they came from, put them back where they went, and everything should go well. Yeah, the cam caps are stamped and numbered. Those aren't. So that's going to be the worst thing I have to deal with. This motor's actually not that bad. The head deck isn't perfect. Everything, I mean, it's not perfect, but it's a KA. I'm just going to clean it up and do the head job and put it back together, timing belt and head work. I'm not going to take the rotating assembly apart. I'm not going to change the rod bearings or rod bolts or main bearings or the oil pump or the piston rings. I'm not going to do any of that. I might change the front and rear main seal and clean the block up, change the oil pan gasket, but I'm going to leave the bottom end rotating assembly alone. And that is because I just don't think it's worth it, guys. I don't think it's worth it for this motor. If this motor throws a rod, I would rather spend the time and money K-swapping this car, honestly. I mean, the money's better spent on a swap kit to fit the K-series in this car, because you can get those a dime a dozen out of Honda CRVs and stuff. These KA24 motors are hard to come by and just aren't that great of a motor to be building. Sorry if I'm pissing you purists off, but it's just not worth it to me to charge. It's not worth it to me to charge the guy that kind of money to do all the clearancing or send this off to a machine shop to like really do a proper OEM rebuild on this KA, when for that kind of money you can just drop a K24 in it out of a CRV and just keep popping those out of a TSX, whatever. They come in a lot of vehicles. It'd be a lot easier to go that route if you're going to get real extensive. So I'm going to try to keep it cheap and simple. This car was just pushing coolant, so I'm just going to do the head job and the timing job, and hopefully it'll just, you know, all run right and be fine. He said it made good oil pressure. I'm sure it'll be fine for a while. But yeah, when this finally does throw a rod, if he even drives it enough to do that, it's stock and he just babies it, then we need to put a different engine in this car.